We just picked up all our insulation, and it's 111 or 112 degrees, so it's very hot here. So we're gonna go jump in the pool.
Wait.
We ended up picking up all the insulation in Phoenix and then driving it up to Flagstaff. It was a little sketchy on the drive up, but we made it okay. We ended up getting 64 bags in total of Rockwool to do all of the exterior walls and 2 layers in the roof. So our studs are 2 foot on center, so we use 24-inch Rockwool to fill the stud bays. Any of the stud bays that were less than 2 foot, like this one here, we turned the Rockwool on its side and then cut it down to the width it needed to be. Instead of cutting it long ways, we cut it short ways and just stacked in 4 2-foot pieces into that wall. It just saved us a little waste rather than cutting it long ways and being stuck with a really skinny piece that we couldn't use anywhere else. As you guys can probably hear, it's raining outside. This is probably gonna mess with the video audio, but I can't control the weather. We made a mistake when we were doing the insulation. If you have any interest in building new houses or building science or anything like that, you've seen the build show. He has a good video about what to do to keep your house safe from bugs and to kind of pre-treat for bugs before you insulate and before you drywall. And I was planning on doing that step but had forgotten it. So here we are with Boracare with a mold treatment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the entire bottom row of insulation on the first floor, treat the stud bays with it and the sill plate, not the sill plate but the bottom plate, and then we're actually gonna go back down into the crawl space. We're gonna treat the sill plate, we're gonna treat the rim board, and then if I have stuff left over, since it's a mold care too, we're just gonna treat all the rim joists in the bottom of the subfloor. Okay, it's really starting to come down, but the next thing we need to do, which he talks about, is how we need to mix this 1 gallon of Boracare in mold treatment with 5 gallons of water. So we need 6-gallon bucket basically. This is a 7-gallon trash can that he just recommended using. We're gonna go ahead and use that. Oh my god. I don't know if you can see, but that's almost sap-like. I did not expect that. Nope. Back off. So I guess this is why they say to rinse the bottle. The next thing I'm gonna add is the mold care. That's liquid. Even though it was a lot of work taking all the insulation out, spraying this, and then putting all the insulation back in, I'm really glad I chose to do that because it just gives you a little more peace of mind that if any moisture or any bugs do get into that wood, that it's just another layer of protection to stop them. And if you're wondering what I'm using to stir this all together, it is the antenna from my truck, because I had locked my keys in and had to break it anyways to get into my truck. Just a little tip that I didn't do but I read online and I thought was a really good idea is to dye the solution a color before you put it on. That way as you're spraying it you can see which wood you've done. It is pretty easy to see that the wood is wet, but dyeing it red or blue or something that stands out would have been very helpful, especially down in the crawl space. So today we're going to be finishing the insulation. We have a couple walls upstairs to finish, and then we are going to spray foam the roof from the underside.
So the ceiling?
So the ceiling. Well, that's not the ceiling. We're going to spray foam the underside of the roof with 2-part spray foam. We're going to start upstairs, and then after spray foaming all of upstairs, we're going to move downstairs and spray foam that. And then after we get done spray foaming, we just need to put in all of the Rockwool insulation. So we'll have 1 inch of closed cell foam and then 11 inches of Rockwool. So
it should end up at about R50 roughly.
Yeah. Spraying the foam on was an experience. It was not too hard to do. It just took a little bit to get used to how fast it came off and how thick you could put it on. And then also it was super messy, but overall I think it turned out great. In this video you'll kind of see some spots that weren't done super well or super thick. We went back over all of the ceilings once we were done and hit those spots again just to make sure they were full thickness. You can see I'm going pretty quick here because if you stop for more than 30 seconds the nozzle on the gun starts to cure and you have to switch it out. So they only supply you with about 10 nozzles total, so I was trying to move as fast as I could, and then once I got the whole ceiling done we went back with the round nozzles and did it more in places that needed to do more and sealed all of the gaps that didn't quite seal with the first pass. So we got all the spray foam in and we got all the insulation done on the first floor, as you can see. So we're ready to go down here. We got the spray foam done upstairs. We've got a lot of the ceiling, about 1/4 of the ceiling, and most of the sides. We just got to finish that one side back there, and then we're done. So we are almost done putting in all the insulation, and I wanted to take a second and just talk about Rockwool, why we chose it, and kind of the things I like about it and the things I don't like about it. One, we want to go with a mineral wool type insulation because in the area we're in, it gets pretty dry in the summer and we have a lot of forest fires, and I would like our house to be as fire resistant as possible. Now I know having rock insulation isn't going to stop it from burning down, but it's better than nothing. It's better than just putting in like some of those cellulose, which is just like old newspaper and stuff, better than like the old blue jean stuff, and better than fiberglass. The second reason we kind of chose Rockwool is because of how dense it is. It's pretty good at deadening sound from the outside. So we'll have a little bit quieter house inside than we would if we just used standard fiberglass insulation. The third reason we chose Rockwool is because of the actual insulation value. With fiberglass in a 2x6 stud, you're only getting about R19. I might be a little off on that number, but about R19 insulation. And with Rockwool in a 2x6 stud bay, you're getting R23. So you're getting a little more insulation value in that stud bay with Rockwool. And that will just make our house a little cooler in the summer and a little warmer in the winter and help with the energy efficiency. So one of the things I like is it's pretty easy to cut with just a normal insulation saw or serrated blade. It is kind of crumbly if you handle it a lot, but that's really about it. You do get super itchy from it. I don't think you get as itchy from it as you do with fiberglass, but you still get really itchy, so you still want to wear long sleeves and cover yourself. One of the things I want to note with Rockwool is there's actually a specific way you put it in. If you look on the packaging, there's a set of instructions, and if you actually look on the bat itself, it has a side that's labeled flexible edge. So what you do is you insert the flexible edge into the stud bay first, and then you go back with the edge that's a little more stiff, and you push it in and form fit it to the stud bay. Another reason that we kind of chose it too is insects won't eat it and don't like it because it's rock and metal. Except for this little fucker. And then it's mold resistant and it's not fire resistant, but water resistant. So we actually didn't have the windows in right away, as you saw when we started the installation, and it rained 2 or 3 times in those time periods. And when I came back after it rained, there were only a couple of pieces of insulation that were wet, but they weren't wet. The water was literally just balled up on top of it. It was pretty interesting to see. None of the insulation was wet, and you could just brush the water off, and it just came right off of the insulation, so that was cool. The next thing I want to talk about is the spray foam. So we could have hired someone to do the closed cell spray foam. It would have cost a lot more than it cost us. We paid $550 for the spray foam kit for 600 square foot at 1 inch thick. So we sprayed it about 1 inch thick throughout our 640 square foot that we actually had to do. In some places it's about more 1/2 to 3/4 inch, but it's around there. They give you a couple different nozzles. They give you a fan nozzle and then a clear one, which is a circular nozzle, and that kind of comes out in a cone. So the circular was really good for plugging kind of the voids we had in the blocking of the roof when we put our roof in. And then the fan nozzle was really good for doing the actual stud bays. It does take a little bit to get kind of used to it. The bottom floor that we did second, I think I did a lot better of a job on than I did this second floor, but we still got her done. If you put the spray foam on too thick in the first layer, it will just peel off. So it kind of peeled off into this, I don't know, it's literally just the spray foam, but it peeled off. So we had to kind of break that off and re-go and put it not on as thick and put it in different layers. So that's something just to think about. Another thing to think about is there's the coronavirus right now, and you can't find any respirators anywhere, and we couldn't find any coveralls in the entirety of Flagstaff, which is the town near where we live. So we just wore long sleeves and kind of masks over ours and goggles. But oh my god, would a respirator have been nice, and would coveralls have been nice, because it gets literally everywhere. My arm is completely spray foamed, and I'm going to have to shave the hair off my arm to get it off, because I can't get this out. That's it.
Oh, because I have cancer.
It does.
No, you're not.
She does not.
I have all of my hair still.
We probably both do after inhaling all of that spray foam, but...
You have your mask on. Come on.
What?
Put your mask on.
Over your face.
Oh, sorry. Self. Are you trying to throw it in my way?
I'm trying to throw it all crumbly like.
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. We're starting to make a lot of progress really quick with this. Hopefully in the next week we'll have drywall completely done, and we will have the power trench and all the conduit done, and then in the next couple weeks after that we should get our water system complete. So things are really moving along here. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. Make sure you like this video, and once again, make sure you're subscribed to us. Thanks for watching.